So I'm often asked the question, how do you prevent burnout? How do you avoid the weight of practice ownership? And sometimes people say to me, as you look at this, signing up for private practice ownership, being an entrepreneur in the greatest country in the world is supposed to give you autonomy and independence and, this beautiful lifestyle. And yet a lot of times the practice ends up running your life versus you, running the practice, so to speak. And I just want to say that it's possible to have your cake and eat it too. There is really one key word that makes all the difference. And when you get it right, you get everything. And that's really what business ownership should be. Now, that said, it ain't easy street. There are easier things to do. There aren't things that would allow you to have control over your destiny, that have control over your days, to basically be able to design your life on your terms. I call that a lifestyle practice. A vehicle, dentistry, the vehicle. You're going to have lots of different types of vehicles, just like you have lots of different types of practices. A vehicle that takes you where you want to go. So here's a few keys, okay? Keys to this right here. So number one is a lifestyle practice. It has to be your lifestyle. You set the terms and you design. Okay? Even the best can get burnt out. But are you really burnt out, or are you just not making progress? Okay? Are you burnt out, or are you just, stressed out? Are you burnt out, or are you not taking care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally? Are you putting shit in your body and not getting the shit out of your body? Okay? Are you having bad habits or bad mindsets? Are you burning it at both ends and not sleeping? Are you experiencing that thing where you're at home and you're thinking about the practice, you're thinking about at home? Is your schedule kicking your ass? All your fault. Okay? The best part of the deal is that you get to decide. You get to control. And by what there's an old expression, it's very important. What you tolerate, you endorse, right? What you accept, is what you train. So you want to create non-negotiables. You want to live with discipline into your regimen for success. So here's what I want you to see. Most people are sabotaging, working harder, not smarter. They're in the grind instead of in the goals. Okay? Or what I like to call the motion versus the mission. We can go through the motion, but if we're not hitting the mission, okay? And this is everything. A phone call, motion, or secured appointment, emotional connection, a patient ready to go. Okay? Motion, hygiene, new patient, emergency, triage, implant consult, whatever. Or, patient on fire for the future, solidified clinical yes, agreement with the doctor, all in on investment, okay? Mission, motion, schedule, in and out, check in, check out, busy schedule, units, of teeth, not quadrants or areas or arches or mouths, not completing the life cycle, making sure people get healthy, creating, a to-do list means you didn't create a to-done list, right? So that's, motion versus mission, okay? So here's the deal. You must have discipline. Discipline in two major things. Okay? Preparation to make it all work, and then communication. If you don't have what I talked about last time, the bookends, the beautiful bookends, morning huddle, end of day, that's compartments of communication. If you don't have the weekly pulse check, the sales meeting, the 7x7, last 7, next 7, okay, every patient accounted for, all treatment presented, all treatment accepted, all the dollars. I can take you and we can do Master the Month, and we can beat all of your goals a month in advance, right, by sourcing all the cash. We know where it's going to come from. How do we do that? Because we discover all the treatment. How do we do that? Because we assess all the patients. Long-term plans, pathway to health. You get the point. So all of this is the discipline to create, to be proactive, to string all these things together. A few weeks back, we talked about patience and big visions and creations. My newest practice focus for all of our DST universe is all about bigger patient engagement on complete health, whole and happy, complete health dentistry. We went over the team, the culture, the people, patient number one. Today we're talking about you. You get this right, it's trickle down. Everything else works. So here's what you got to do. You got to go goals and mission, but you got to know the why. Okay, why are you doing this? Now, don't give me this line of bullshit about, well, I love what I do. It's for the patients. Dentistry is my life. No. What are you doing this for? For you. What is the point? When you go home, what do you take with you? At the end of the month, what do you have to show for it? When you look at your future, here's what we all got. We got a few things. When we got relationships, okay? We got experiences, okay? We got, fund the future. That's what we got. That's what we got, okay? Ain't nothing else. Now, fund the future can be within the wealth pyramid, which I teach in my wealth groups. And we take the dental business, which becomes the money business, okay, into the life business, which becomes the relationship experience business, which then becomes the wealth, prosperity, philanthropy, giving back, okay, future business. So we have all these different businesses working on all at once, but they're all integrated. They all feed each other, and it becomes this beautiful continuum. If you have that power word, alignment, okay, with your why, unabashed, guilt-free, all in, fully committed, then it's all good. It's fine. You're going to make it. No burnout because you're fueled by your why. But the other thing is to, physically, mentally, emotionally, you have to have rest and reset. Now, I do this every day, okay? Every day. The bookends of the practice, you should have bookends to your day. You should have symbolic, culminating starts and finishes to your week. They're continuums, but if you don't have a rest and reset, of course you have to have great sleep hygiene. You got to treat yourself like a $1 billion body. That's what Zig used to say back when, nobody had $1 billion. Okay, now we can say $1 trillion body. You got to treat yourself with love, all right, in every way, because what you're doing to yourself, the world is a reflection, right, of the world inside is the reflection of the world outside. People like to play victim and think it's the other way around. It isn't. It's in and out, not out and in. There are environmental ways to enhance, of course. You got to have rest and reset, okay? What is your strategy, your plan, your commitment, your disciplined routine? And then, of course, you got to look forward. Everybody's got something to look forward to. Burnout is real if you're looking at in the rearview mirror. If you're thinking about how far we've been, oh my gosh, look at all we've been through. You say, whoa, it's almost halfway through another year, and I'm tired, need a break. Not if you knew your why, you were rest and reset along the way, and if you're looking forward windshield versus past rearview mirror. It's just a completely different energy. I talk about this all the time. If you're moving away from what you don't want or away from the past versus if you're running to the future, you're moving towards what you desire. Okay, that's it. Avoidance, right? Or desire in pursuit of. Same direction, different energy. Besides, you can't actually go back. You have to go forward. So, better to plan for it. Better to do it on purpose. That's what we do in my wealth groups every 90 days. Take a little inventory. We assess where we are. We clean it up. Alignment with why, rest and reset. And then it's all forward battle plans. 90 days at a time, but setting it towards an ultimate objective in life. Okay? The dental business, the life business, the money business. Right? The right now lifestyle practice, the relationships, experiences, family practice. What do I say? Secret is the most rewarding when it serves the people and principles that matter to you. If you need to refresh your talk about what your practice does for the people you love and for you. If you ever get burnt out or you're feeling like you're caught in the grind, go back to one thing and one thing only. That's gratitude. Look at all you've made possible. I won't say, look at how bad it could be, and you'll damn sure feel better immediately, because that's not my nature. But I say, hey, look at how great it already is. And then because it's that way, what's next for you? That's what it's about. And it goes into the future, the prosperity, the wealth building business. So that's what I want to say. Most of all, enjoy it. Enjoy it because, okay, it is your responsibility to make winning worth it. In order to make winning worth it, you got to know what winning is to you. And then you got to design the making. And then you got to capture, savor, enjoy, respect appreciate the worth it. All right? That's what I got for you.